Hi soulmates, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I will be sharing with you how to cut and sew this beautiful 360-degree under bust corset dress with a puff sleeve. If this is something you're interested in, then keep up watching. And don't forget to like this video, comment on it, and also share it. This really helps my algorithm a lot. This is the material I'm going to be using. I don't know the name of this particular material. I just saw it in the market and I bought it. So if you know the name, you can let us know at the comment section for the sake of those that may want to make use of this particular material. So another thing you can also do is to take a screenshot on the screen and take it to the market to look for the material. You can also make use of any material of your choice to make this beautiful gown. The first thing I'm going to be doing is to draft the upper part of this dress on my pattern paper. So on my pattern paper, I went ahead to mark the shoulder line, the bust point line, the under bust line, and also the waist line. So I will place my tape on the shoulder line. I will mark the wideness of the neckline I am working with. So I marked 3.5 inches, but I will advise you to mark 3 inches. Then I'll place my tape slanted like this. From that 3.5 inches I mark, I will mark 9.5 inch downward. Okay, so the front part is going to be a v-neck. So I will just go ahead and connect the points together. I will place my tape on the shoulder. I will mark half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. Then I will come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. I'll just go ahead and connect the shoulder slope to the neckline like this. So after connecting it, I will just go ahead and mark at the neckline so that it will be more visible with my marker. So I will place my tape on the shoulder line. I will mark my chest line. So my chest line is 9.5 inches. So check the screen. You are going to see how to get your chest line measurements. So I'll go ahead and mark a straight line across. I will label this part chest line. I will place my tape on the chest line. I will mark half of my shoulder measurement there. Then I'll go ahead and connect a straight line from the shoulder to the chest line. I will place my tape on the armhole like this. I will fold it into two. I will mark the midpoint. On that point I just marked, I will place my tape on it and mark half inch inward. Then I'll come to the chest line. I will divide my bust by 4. I will mark it. Then I'll go ahead and connect the points together from the shoulder to that half inch, and from that half inch, they have seized the lights. So I'm going to continue like this anyway. So I'll just go ahead and connect it to the chest line like this. I will place my tape on the bust point line like this. I will mark my nipple to nipple measurement there. Then I will do the same thing on the waistline. I will go ahead and connect the points together using a straight ruler. Then I'll place my tape on the shoulder line, this part here. I will fold my tape into two just to get the midpoint. Then I will mark it. After marking it, I will connect it from the shoulder to the bust point. After connecting it, I will place my tape on the waistline here. I will take my dart. So I will mark half inch to the center front. Then I will mark 1.5 inch to this side front. I will do the same thing on the under bust line, half inch like this, and 1.5 inch to this other side. If you are not too busty, mark half inch at the center front and 1 inch at the side front. So after connecting it, I will place my tape on the bust point line. I will come down by half inch. So after marking half inch, I will go ahead and use my French curve to connect a curved line from the under bust to that half inch I marked. Then I will do the same thing on the other side. After connecting it, I will go ahead and blend this sharp edge together. I will also do the same thing for the other side. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to add all my measurements. So I've already gone ahead to mark my bust measurements on the chest line. So what I'm going to be doing now is to divide my waist measurements by 4. I will mark it on the waistline. Then I'll also go ahead and replace the dart. Remember, it was 2 inch I minus for the dart, so I will replace it. I'll go ahead and connect from the chest line to the waistline like this. Then I'll go ahead and add 1.5 inch for sewing allowance on the chest line and also on the waistline. Then I'll go ahead and connect the points together. I will extend the chest line. So after that, the next thing I'm going to be marking is the side dart. To mark the side dart, you are going to minus your front half length from your back half length. My front half length is 60 inches and my back half length is 40 inches. 16 minus 40 is 2 inches. I will place my tape on the bust point line like this. I will mark 2 inches downward. Then I will mark a slant line from this point here down to that 2 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark it. So if you don't know the difference between your front half length and your back half length, then this is the right time for you to pay for my beginners online class. So this part I am marking is the part I'm going to be cutting at. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to connect my under bust corset. So I will place my French curve from the V neckline down to the under bust like this. I will mark a curved line, okay, like this. I will go ahead and cut this part open close to the bust point line, okay. Then I also go ahead and cut the side open. I will not cut out everything. I will just end it close to the tip here. Then I will use this down one to cover this part here. So I will use my seal tape to seal it down. Then I'll go ahead and reconnect the side again, because if you check, you're going to see that they are no longer equal. So I'll just go ahead and use my straight ruler to connect it again. So I'll go ahead and connect this down side from this point here down to this point here, okay. So I will just use my French curve to connect that. After reconnecting it, I will just go ahead and make the waistline more visible by marking it out. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out just like I can see me doing. Please watch and see the part I am cutting at so that you don't cut the wrong part. And please don't forget to like this video, comment on it. This really helps my algorithm a lot. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to it as well, okay. So I'll go ahead and cut out this down part. I will cut out this other side. Then I will join these two together like this down side. I will join it together. I'm going to be cutting just one piece at the end of the day instead of cutting two separate pieces. So I will seal it together. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to draft out the back part of this dress. So I will just go ahead and mark the zipper allowance just like as you can see me doing. The wideness is 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch. Then I'll place my tape on that line I just marked. I will mark the wideness of the neckline, which is 3.5 inches, because that was what I marked for the front. Then the depth, I will mark 1 inch. Then I'll go ahead and use my French curve to connect the neckline together like this. Then I will mark half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches, and from that point I will come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. I will connect it onto the neckline. Then I'll place my tape on the shoulder line. I will mark my chest line, so which is 9.5 inch. Then from there I will mark my half length, which is 14 inches. I will also mark it on this other side. Then I'll go ahead and connect all the points together with a straight line. So after connecting the points, I will label it bust point and waistline. I will place my tape on the chest line. I will mark half of my shoulder measurement. Then I'll connect it to the shoulder line like this. Then I'll go ahead and divide my bust by 4. I will mark it on the chest line. Then I'll go ahead and connect the armhole like this. Then I will divide my waist measurement by 4. I will mark it. Then I'll go ahead and add 1.5 inch for joining allowance. Then I also wanted to add 1.5 inch on the chest line. This paper was not enough. I just wanted to join another paper to it. Then I added 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. I'll go ahead and connect from the waistline to the chest line like this, okay. I'll just connect all the points together. So I will extend the waistline to this zipper allowance. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to remove zip bulge. I'll place my tape like this and mark half inch to the front like this, half inch. Then I'll go ahead and mark a slant line from that half inch to the top. There's no special measurement for this, just mark it to the top anywhere. So I'll just go ahead and remark the waistline. Then I'll go ahead and cut it at like this. I'm not going to be adding that to the back part of this dress, okay. So after cutting it, I will label the front. This is number 1, this is number 2. I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two like this. Then I'll go ahead and place this number 1 pattern paper on it, just like as you can see me doing. So just make sure the center front of the pattern paper is facing the center front of the fabric. Then I'll go ahead and retake the wideness of the neckline, which is 3.5 inches. Then I'll go ahead and pin it down just like as you can see me doing. After pinning it, I will go ahead and add half inch for joining allowance round on the v neckline, on the shoulder, on the side, and also the down. I will add half inch round. I will go ahead and cut it out. Once I'm done cutting it out, I will use it to cut out another one, which is going to be serving as the lining. Okay, so I went ahead to fold my fabric into two again. Then I placed this number two, which is the side front. I went ahead to add half inch round for joining allowance. So I'm not going to be adding on the armhole area. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to cut the flare for the down part of this dress. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two, right side facing each other. Then after folding it into two, I will go ahead and fold it into two again. Let me just position it well in a way that you guys can see it properly well. So I've gone ahead to fold it into two again, which gave me four. This is the zipper allowance. Okay, so after folding it into four, I will go ahead and fold it into two again, which is going to give me 8 pieces. Then I'll go ahead and fold this into two again. Like I'll fold this into two again, which is going to give me 16 pieces. So what I'm going to be doing now is to go ahead and divide my waist measurement by that 16 inches. My waist is 36. 36 divided by 16 is going to give me 2.25. I'm going to make it 2.05, okay, which is 2.5 inches. I will place my tape on this part like this. I will just locate the side that is wide as 2.5 inches. So this part here is wide. I will just go ahead and mark a straight line across this particular point here. Then I'll place my tape on the tip of this flare. I will measure it down on this side. What I have there is about 8.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead and, okay, 8 inches. I'll just go ahead and mark that 8 inches round like this. Just watch out what I'm doing in case you don't understand what I'm saying. So I'll mark that 8 inches from the tip round. Then I'll go ahead and pin it down. I will place my tape on this line I just marked here. I will minus my half length, which is 16 inches. So I'll minus that 16 inches from the skirt. Then I'll place my tape on it and mark the full length of my gown. So the full length of my gown is 42 inches. I will add 2 inch for joining allowance and folding allowance. So this is it. I will place my tape on that part where I mark at the top. Then I'll just be marking it round, just like as you can see me doing. So after connecting it, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Mind you, despite the fact that I'm using electric scissors, it was really difficult for me to cut this out because it was so thick. Like it was too thick. So I have to cut from one layer to the other. I will move to the back, cut the front. So when it was time for me to cut this upper part, oh God, you can see me struggling with it. So just take time and cut out your own. Okay, this is just me trimming the down again because I made mistake while I was cutting the down parts. So once I was done cutting it, this is how it look like. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and open it up. This is how it look like. So I'll go ahead and measure the waistline just to be sure that the waist is wide enough for my waist measurement. So it was not wide enough. So I just went ahead to mark half inch downward again. Then I'll go ahead and connect the point together. Then I'll retake the measurement around here just to be sure that it is wide enough for my waistline. So what I have here is going to be enough for my waistline. I'll just go ahead and cut it out. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to cut out the puff sleeves for this dress, and I'm going to be using my sleeve pattern for this. I already have a tutorial on the channel on how to draft a basic sleeve. You can go check it out. So I'll place my tape at the beginning here. I will mark 14 inches downward. That is how long I want the sleeve to be. Then I'll mark a straight line across, then cut out the remaining one. So I'm going to be using the splash and spread method for this puff sleeve. So at the down part, I will mark 1 inch as you can see me doing. Then I'll connect from that 1 inch to the cap of the sleeve, like to the top of the sleeve. I hope you guys understand. I will just go ahead and label it. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out from the down close to the tip. Please don't cut out everything. You can just cut it and stop close to the tip. Don't cut out everything. So just watch out what I'm doing. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to fold my fabric into two like this. Then I'll place my sleeve pattern on it. So I will come down with about 5 inches before I start pinning it. So I'll pin the number one on the closed edge. Then at the down part, I will mark the space interval between each point. So I will just place my tape like this and mark 1.5 inches. Then I'll place number two on it and pin it down. But later on, I went ahead to unpin it and mark 2 inches interval. So you can go ahead and mark 2 inches or 2.5 inches. So once you're done marking it, you pin the next pattern paper on it, mark another one, pin the next pattern paper till you mark it to the end. So once I was done marking it to the end, I went ahead to add half inch at the side for journey allowance and 1 inch at the down for folding allowance, then half inch on the armhole area for journey allowance. Then after that, I went ahead to cut it out. I've gone ahead to cut out everything just like as I can see. So for the center front, I went ahead to cut out two pieces, one for the main fabric and one for the lining. For the side front, I went ahead to cut out 4 pieces, two for the sides and two for the lining as well. Then for the down part too, for the back, I did the same thing. I cut out the main fabric and the lining. This session is how to sew under bust corset dress. So pay attention to this section. So I went ahead to iron clustering on all the pieces, both the back, the front, and the down. So this part is optional. I just decided to do it. So I'm going to be picking the side front and the center front. I will just go ahead and pin it just like as you can see me doing. So once I'm done pinning this side, I will go ahead and pin the other side like this. So once I'm done pinning it, I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew it with half inch. Then I'll also go ahead and sew the other side with half inch. Then I'll do the same thing for the lining and also the back of the dress as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it. This is how it look like. So I'll just go ahead and use my bust ham to iron it open like this. Just watch out what I'm doing. Once I'm done ironing the front, I will iron the lining as well. So I'm going to be sewing this bone on the dress, and this one is the lining. Please, this one is the lining. I'm going to be sewing it on the lining. So from the shoulder, I will come down by 2 inches. Then I'll place my bone on it. I will just take it to the sewing machine and sew it down. Then I will sew the other side. This one is optional. So I've gone ahead to sew it as you can see, and at the down here, I left half inch for journey allowance. So this one is optional. It's not compulsory. You must sew bone to your own place, okay? I just decided to do something different and nothing else. So I'll go ahead and iron it out just like as you can see me doing. And another thing I'm going to be doing is this. I'm going to be adding this bra cup on the dress, and this one is also optional. So I'll go ahead and fold my bra cup into two like this. From the top, I will mark half inch to the middle. I will take it to the same machine and sew it. Okay, that is just to sew the upper chest darts. So I've gone ahead to sew it as you can see. I will go ahead and cut out the excess on this part where I sew like this. I will do the same thing for the other one. Then I'll fold it into two and notch the middle. So that particular middle is the part where I'm going to be placing on where I sew on the dress. Okay, I'll pin it down there. Then I'll pin the up. If you check, you're going to see that the part where I cut is the part facing up, like the part where I sew on the cup is the part facing up on the dress. Please, that was a wrong placement. Make sure that part is the part facing down before you pin it. So I will take it to the sewing machine and sew it round. Then I will sew this other side round. I hope you guys understand. I have gone ahead to sew it as you can see. So I'm just going to keep this lining aside and start working on the main fabric. So this is the main fabric for the front as you can see. So this is the down parts. So I'm going to be sewing it together. So I'll just go ahead and place it like this, right side facing each other. I will first of all pin the middle. So when it comes to sewing this under bust corset dress, please you need to be careful. So I'll first of all pin the middle together, then pin it to one side, and when you are pinning it, make sure it is not squeezed around the middle. Okay, if you watch my tutorial on how to make, hey, they have seized the light again. If you watch my tutorial on how to sew under bust corset, the one I make before, you're going to see that I took my time to explain how to sew this middle part. So once I was done pinning it, I will take to the sewing machine and sew it around with 1/2 inch. So once I'm done sewing it around, I will go ahead and pin this other side. Can you see how I am taking my time to arrange this part? Just make sure when you are pinning it, it is not squeezed around the center. So make sure you use your hand to arrange it properly well and sew it around. This really stressed me a little, despite the fact that I've been doing it before. So for you that is new to it, just make sure you take your time to do it, okay? So I've gone ahead to sew it, and I also went ahead to sew the lining as well. I will just go ahead and iron it open. This is the lining. So this is just me ironing the part where I joined. So the same way I am ironing this part, that is how I'm also going to iron the one for the May dress. So I'll go ahead and cut out the excess on the middle here. Then I will turn it to the front and also iron this part where I sew, okay? Once I was done ironing it, the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to go ahead and join the front and the lining together. So I'll go ahead and place the lining on the main fabric like this, right side facing each other. So I'll go ahead and pin the middle, then pin the V neckline because I'm going to be sewing the neckline first. So once I'm done pinning it, I will take the sewing machine and sew it with 1/2 inch down to the middle here, then down to the top. So I'll go ahead and also sew the side with 1/2 inch as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it. So once I was done sewing it, I will just go ahead and notch the middle and trim out some excesses around the neckline like this. Then I will turn it to the front. Once I'm done turning it to the front, I will take to the sewing machine and top stitch on the lining area. So guys, I've gone ahead to top stitch on it. I will just go ahead and pin, arrange it and pin the armhole, the shoulder together. I will take to the sewing machine and top stitch on it. So I'll also do the same thing for the down. Go ahead and arrange the down and make sure it is firm enough. So go ahead and trim out the excesses like this. Then I also go ahead and trim out the one on around the armhole like this. So I will take to the sewing machine and stitch the down. I will stitch the armhole area. So guys, another thing I decided to do was to stitch the armhole and the shoulder. Then I am going to be ironing gum stay on the neckline just to make the neckline more firm. So you can do this before you start stitching the shoulder and the armhole together, okay? So guys, I've gone ahead to iron it. This one is also optional, it's not compulsory. So this is the back part. I've gone ahead to turn the back before, just like as I told you guys earlier. So I'll just go ahead and pin the back together, like I'll pin out the zipper allowance. Once I'm done pinning it like this, I'll just go ahead and open it up. This is how it look like. So I'll place it on the front part of this dress. I will pin the shoulder together. So once I'm done pinning it together, I will take it to the sewing machine and stitch it down with 1/2 inch. Then I also pin this other side and stitch it. I have gone ahead to sew it. Once I was done sewing the shoulder, I went ahead to shaping my dress. Okay, so if you don't know how to shaping a dress, this is a sign for you to join my beginners online class. And if you're interested in joining, check the description section or the comment section. You're going to be seeing my phone number there. Send me a DM or WhatsApp. Tell me to add you to my beginners online class. Once you are done shaping your dress, please make sure the waistline of your top is exactly your waist measurement, okay? Because you need to shaping it properly before you join the down part to it. So this is the down part, which is the flace skirt. So what I'm going to be doing now is to first of all take this to the sewing machine and fold the down like this. Then I'll fold it again and sew it round. I already have a tutorial on how to fold the hem of a flared dress. I'm going to be leaving the link at the description section. Click on it to watch it in case you don't know how to fold the hem of a flared dress. So I will just go ahead and turn the top to the back. Then I will remove the pin for the zipper allowance. That is the pin I use the pin in the zipper allowance. I will remove it. I will go ahead and fold the skirt part into two and notch the middle. I will also fold the top part into two and notch the middle. Then I'll place the skirt on the top like this, right side facing each other. I will pin the middle, then I'll pin it to the end. I will take to the same machine and sew it around with 1/2 inch. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it. This is how it look like. Once you're done sewing it, please go ahead and iron it out. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to sew my zip on it. So I'll go ahead and fold the back side of the dress into two like this. After folding it, I'll go ahead and pin the neckline, the waistline, and the hem of the dress. So just go ahead and pin it down. Then I'll place my tape on the neckline. I will measure where the zip is going to stop. Okay, I will just mark 21 inch. So from that point where I mark, I will take to the sewing machine and sew it to the hem of the dress. Once I'm done sewing it, I will sew the zip on it. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew the zip on it. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to sew the puff sleeve on the dress. So I'll just go ahead and remove my pattern paper from the puff sleeve. So once I'm done removing the pin and the pattern paper, I will take this to the sewing machine. I will fold the down like this. Then I'll fold it again. Make sure the folding is wide because we are going to be adding elastic to it, and I'm not going to be showing that part because this is midnight on Saturday. This is Saturday night, close to Sunday. We're about to enter Sunday, and I'm going to be wearing this cloth on Sunday, so I'm going to be ending this video here. Just go ahead and sew the puff sleeve on it on your own.